Hey everybody, Ben here from the Bonehead podcast, and we've got a very cool Kickstarter review for you today. The Savanna team that we previewed, I don't know, 6-7 months ago, which is this mixed, anthropomorphized animal Kickstarter that was released. The elephants, the rhinos, the hippos, the monkeys, all a really cool bunch of models, are now coming back, but as an STL only Kickstarter. Now, the rise of home printing Blood Bowl teams has just skyrocketed, right? So being able to drop a Kickstarter with physical models and then later on being able to do a second way of releasing the models into the populace is a really cool way to do this, and we're seeing this from Punga. So basically you've got the option to buy the team, or you've got the option now to print the team. We're seeing more and more of this, and the guys at Savanna, or Galladur's 3D, have been brilliant and have let us have a look at the STLs so that we could print a few off. I say few, print the entire team off and see how they look. But first, let's have a look at the Kickstarter. Okay, so this is the Savanna team, STL only by Galladur's 3D. 16 days to go as it stands right now, which will be Sunday, November 20th, and they've already doubled their target, which is brilliant. They're great sculpts, great models. We've seen them before, and we loved them before. So as we go down, what we'll do is we'll have a look at the team in case you never saw the team the first time round. This is what we're talking about. Let's see if we can get a bit of a zoom in there. Nope, that's not going to work. Thank you, Kickstarter. It is a cool bunch of sculpts with an animal theme. So the big guy is an elephant. You've got some strength 4 representative bodies in hippos and rhinos. The rhinos are just so like bebop and rocksteady. It's really, really, really great. There's 4 different rhino sculpts in the base pack and 2 hippo sculpts, which are these guys here. They're all strength 4. The elephant is very much strength 5. And then you get a bunch of strength 2 looking guys as well, which are the angry monkeys, who are so characterful, and also the baboon runners as well. So as the team pack, you can represent a whole bunch of different teams. Now, the easiest ones, or the most one-to-one, would be Black Orcs. So you've got the hippos and the rhinos as your Black Orcs, you've got the elephant as the troll, and you've got the baboon and the monkeys to be your goblins. The same is true of Lizardman there, where the rhinos and hippos are your sauruses. The big dude is your Croxagore. The trunk is also representative of Prehensile Tail, I guess. And then you've got the baboon runners as the chameleon skinks, and the standard chimps as your skinks, basically. So as the team is built together, that's what you get in the basic pack. Now, from a reward point of view, that's £22. So £22, you get a fully pre-supported elephant, 4 rhinos, 2 hippos, and all 8 monkeys. That's everything you're going to need, and the pre-supports are really good. We'll have a look at the 3D prints in a second, but I'm really impressed. I printed them all at 100% scale to see if the pre-supports would work. I didn't have a single fail, and the size is perfect. They do come unsupported as well, so if you want to scale them up or scale them down, you can knock yourself out, which is really cool. Now, there's a few alternatives as well. There's a goals one where you get the stretch goals here, which are these models here. So you get the prone and stunned elephant, you get reroll markers, cheerleaders, and the coach, which I think is pretty cool. And there are some alternative sculpts for rhinos. So there's rhinos 5 and 6 available as well. So for different, there you go, ultimate bonus models. There's an ultimate team, which is £39, where you get all 15 core, all the stretch goals, and the Savanna add-ons, which are the 2 extra rhinos, the 2 extra pom-poms, Kong, Lemon, and Zumba, which are the 2 star players here. So this is what you get for the ultimate package. So this starts from £22 for the basic team, which gives you 6 strength 4 guys, 1 big guy, and 8 strength 2 guys, and you just basically get the option to add more and more and more. But what we do have is the STLs, so I think we should have a quick look. Okay, so let's have a look at some of the STLs. There are supported and unsupported versions, so we are going to start by having a look at some of the unsupported big guys and medium guys, I guess should be called. So you got the elephant here, and you can see as we zoom in, they've got a ton of textured details there. And one thing I really enjoyed was the human head. So where a lot of things have like animal skulls on their walls and stuff, these guys have human heads ticking about. And as we rotate, you can see all the detail there. You've got plenty of texture without having a billion bits of detail. which makes me very happy because these are exactly the kind of models that will paint up very, very quickly, which you kind of want. You know, bit of contrast, bit of speed paint, and they're good to go. And you can see you've got this kind of, I guess there's a slightly cartoony element to it, but then these are rhino people and elephant people, so I mean, I don't know what else you're looking for. You got the cool team logo on all the players here, and you've got plenty of battle damage on the armor. And we'll have a quick look at the Hippo as well, because actually, like, they've got the animal bit exactly right, and they've managed to wangle it so the proportions work really well for Blood Bowl. So you've got a mixture of all the players there. What we'll do is we'll have a look at some of the monkeys as well, and then I think probably the most important thing is going to be the support, so I can show off how they've supported them. We'll grab a couple of monkeys here because why not? They're great sculpts. So we've got a couple of the actual standard monkeys here, which have got a ton of character as well. One's eating a banana, one's running around on the ball. There is a guy flipping the bird as well, which I think is really quite entertaining. And then you've got these baboons. So I don't know why I'm zooming around when I should actually just be moving the STLs. Woo, there we go. Whee, there we go. You get his little baboon face. You can see they've done a beautiful job capturing, like I said, that animal element to it. It's bang on. You can see exactly what they're meant to be. There's cheeky monkeys. You've got these baboons that are just babooning around, and they've even got the rear markers there, which I think is probably one of the things you think of when you think about baboons. They're a great bunch of characterful sculpts, but they are also fully supported, which makes me fully happy. And here we go. So they've got the Chitu box files in there for you, so you can go and see. I was a little concerned at first when I saw that all of these models were supported standing up. I was like, oh, that's not kind of how you normally see it. That's why, when it came to printing out the models, with the exception of an extra elephant, because it's such a cool model, I was like, you know what, we'll just use the pre-supports here. We'll use them as they are done, as they are given at 100% scale, and we'll see how well they come out. Now, we're about to have a look at the models, but the spoiler alert is their pre-supports are excellent. They're not very wasteful, and even though the models are printed standing up, there's no lines, there's no rings, you are good to go. In fact, let's cut and have a look at the models right now. Okay, so let's have a look at some of the prints. So I've printed these mostly at 100% scale using the pre-supported versions from the Kickstarter on my Saturn II. And we're going to start off with what I think is just the coolest model from this entire set. I thought it when we saw the physical one last year, and I have not changed my mind. This, the big guy elephant, is just so cool. So you can see I've quickly removed the supports, and I've left some of the supports in place. Now, you know, when you print your own models, you clean your supports off before you do it. I kind of wanted to leave some of it on there so you can kind of see just how well this is done. So they are really lightly supported, but this model is not light in any way, shape or form. This is a chunk of resin, and I'm really impressed with it. So we can get a good shot of it on the camera there. You can see all the detail of the model, and like I said, this is Saturn II, standard setting, standard resin. You can see I've not done a brilliant job of cleaning it up, but it is an absolutely chunky boy of a model. I love all the detail you've got on there. We saw it when we looked at the STLs, but all the scratches, all the marks, all the kind of skin texture is really nicely done. But the most important thing when it comes to pre-supported models is, one, do they print? Yes, perfectly. And secondly, size comparison. Now, because this team is kind of Lizardman or Black Orc centric, I've grabbed my Black Orcs, and you can see that 100% scale, stacking him up next to a Black Orc, the guy is he's plenty big enough, which is awesome. It's supposed to be the big guy of your team, so you want a strength 5 piece to be a nice strength 5 piece. The cool thing is he stays within kind of the 32mm silhouette. Now, I believe that big guys should be on 40mm bases, so he's got the size, he's got the heft. This is the only model that I also supported for myself because I wanted the model to come out nicely. And I've also scaled him up a bit. So I've taken the elephant and I've scaled him up 120% scale because I absolutely love this model. I love the physical version that I backed earlier in the year. And now we've got this one here. Come on, autofocus. Look at that. What an absolute beautiful model. Now, upscaled 120%. The dude is gigantic. But I wanted to make sure that we got and used all the pre-supported versions. So if you look at it from a pre-supported point of view, he's plenty big enough, but I couldn't resist just upscaling him a little bit more just to make the mightiest of big guys. And this guy is going to come across the pitch and he's going to basically be the biggest dude around there. So upscaled 20% with my own supports. I think I did medium. You can see I didn't do as great a job as the Kickstarter ones, but I love the size at 120. I am pleased to say that 100% scale is exactly where you should be. Next up, we've got the Rhino guys, and I love these two. They're very dynamic. So again, I've printed these using the pre-supports at 100% scale. So I've not done anything with these. I thought for this Kickstarter, it was the most important to just check out what you actually get, because you guys who are 3D printing can support your own stuff and scale it up or down, but actually it's worthwhile knowing if they're exactly the right scale. Now, we've got all 4 of the Rhino dudes from the core set. There are a couple of extra Rhino sculpts available in the expanded set on Kickstarter. I'm sure in the video we've already looked at the levels. I can't remember what the levels are, but oh, look at that. It's a beautiful print. You can see I've not fully de-supported it, but I just wanted to get it out, and I had a couple of fails with the print on prints before this. Not actually this. I had no failed prints at all with any of these models, which was delicious. But my printer had been off the sketch because I printed a pitch, so that's on me. But these are lovely, and of course we're going to do a scale comparison. So let's take a standing up one who's got a very cool pose, and next to a Black Orc, he's a little bit bigger than a Black Orc. Now, he's a little bit bigger than a Black Orc and a little bit smaller than an Ogre, so you can use this as a very... it fits in really nicely at strength 4. Now, you know what I'm going to say. If you scale it up, then one of these Rhinos will make a heck of a Minotaur. Ooh, make a heck of a Minotaur in a team. Oh, I think we've just upgraded our Chaos Renegades team with a massive Rhino to be the Minotaur with horns. That's awesome. Yeah, okay, we're going to take one of these sculpts. We're going to scale it up 125% and use it as a big guy. But as you saw, this works out a little bit bigger than a Black Orc, which is going to fit in really nicely at strength 4. And then there are the Bully Hippos. So these are about the same scale as the, I was going to say Black Orcs, as the Rhinos, but you can see they've come out beautifully as well. There's a ton of detail on these models, and I'm so glad we can get hold of the STLs now, because this is just being able to scale them up, scale them down to fit in the team dynamic that you want, being able to mirror them if you want more than 1 or 2. I mean, we talked about this being a Lizardman or a Black Orc team, but actually you can fill this out to be your Chaos team with 4 Rhinos or 4 Hippos as your Chaos Warriors. There's just a ton of stuff you can do, and both of these guys, and again, I've not de-supported fully, automatic print basically, chuck them on there and they just came out perfectly. I don't know, did I gum up the teeth? No, teeth have come out nicely. So actually they're beautiful sculpts, and the prints have been brilliantly supported. Again, let's do the scale comparison, and they are about the same scale as the Black Orc there. And if we take a Rhino, then the bully Hippos are the same kind of mass and the same kind of size. So you can have 6 different big guys with the core set. 2 of them are Hippos. You can mirror them to give you 4 different Hippos or 8 different Rhinos. There's a ton of different variants you can do, and if you want a Hippo big guy, you can scale it up a bit, but this is bang on strength 4. 120% would give you a very nice strength 5 Hippo, if that's what you want in your team. Okay, now we've got the Angry Monkeys, and I printed off a few different versions of them because I wanted to try out all the pre-supports. Let's see if we can get a nice auto-focused shot here. There we go, beautifully done camera, well done. These guys are brilliant. They've got a ton of character, and you can see that straight from the first Kickstarter. You can see it from the pictures on the Kickstarter page, but they're really cool. Now, one thing to call out is you've got to be careful when taking the supports off. They've got a few thin bits, but the tails on, I think, all of mine survived. I did have one other model where I wasn't really paying attention, and I ended up breaking off the foot as I was de-supporting. So do be careful. But as you can tell by the amount of support that's still left on these models, I took the supports off very quickly with these and really didn't have any issues at all, with the exception of that 1 foot, which is entirely my fault. Now we got Grot Brady here as a strength 2 size comparison, and the monkeys are a little bit bigger, but they are definitely not strength 3 size. So when it comes to using this as a Lizardman team, as a Black Orc team, or whatever, straight out the gate, pre-supported, 100% scale. They're good to go for strength 2, so it could be an entertaining halfling for your team or whatever. They work beautifully. You can obviously scale them up if you want to have a simian team or run them as strength 3, but they are pretty much bang on where they need to be for strength 2 lizardmen, skinks, or goblins. And last but not least, we've got the baboon runners. So there's 2 different sculpts for these baboons. They are basically the same size as the monkeys. They just obviously have different faces and kind of different postures as well. This means that you can flex them in your Black Orc team just as other goblins. You've got different positionals. Kind of works in the same way as the hippos. They're the same size, but they are different, which is perfect for Lizardman. So these would be essentially your chameleon skinks, and they are very cool sculpts, very characterful, and again, pre-supported at 100% scale. They come out and they are going to be exactly what you need them to be, and it gives you that extra bit of flexibility to make, I don't know, you could scale them up and use them as, well, you could probably fit a nice Amazon team out of this team if you scale it all up and have, you know, the 2 hippos or the rhinos as the blockers and these guys as the blitzers, and you've got the thrower as well, I guess. Well, it remains to be seen. The point is, 100% pre-supported, perfect supports, perfect scale for strength 2. So, chameleon skinks, absolutely. And there you have it, Savanna STLs. It's such a cool team, and the fact that you can get hold of the STLs now is so useful because it is a very cheap way to get 2 Blood Bowl teams, at least without thinking any creativity around. And the really great thing about 3D printing Blood Bowl is you can print a dude for a team. When it comes to, I need a big guy for that team, I need a cool blitzer, I need a star player, I need something, you then add to your repertoire. So not only will you have a team that's good to go to be Lizardman or Black Orcs, you've also got a big guy there to be used for any other team. He could represent a star Croxagore. You've got a bunch of little monkeys that could represent whatever you want. You've got a Rhino that you could upscale and use as a Minotaur, which I think I'm going to actually have to do now. It's a really cool way to just add brilliant models to Blood Bowl. At least 2 teams in there. If you scale up the other ones, you can probably fill out most teams in Blood Bowl. They're a really cool style. They've been beautifully done, beautifully modeled, and beautifully supported. This is an absolute no-brainer for me. If you like the aesthetic, the quality cannot be topped. If you don't like the aesthetic, don't worry about it. There's plenty of other Blood Bowl teams out there. But if you like this, the price is good, the sculpting's good. It's a great thing to join and to benefit from. Anyway, I'm going to wrap up now. Let me know what you think of this in the comments below, and we'll be back soon with more Blood Bowl content. Happy blocking. Thanks very much for watching. We really appreciate your support. If you want to support the channel even further, please like and subscribe. It really does help us out. Or come join us on YouTube members or in Patreon, where you can get exclusive access to some content, some loot, early access to basically everything we do, as well as regular competitions. Or you can pick up some Bonehead Podcast loot either on our website at boneheadpodcast.com. We've got the Dungeon Bowl things, we've got tokens and stuff like that, or on our Spreadshirt site as well. Everything you do just helps us make more content and hopefully do it of better quality. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. Happy blocking.